Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily and I go by Fiber Matter here online. Today I'm excited to show you guys all of the whips that I am bringing into 2026. So I'm filming this on January 8th, I think. And I know this is peak season for everyone doing the everything I knit in the year last year videos. I did post one of those on TikTok if you're interested in seeing kind of everything I knit last year. But I thought it would be really fun to do a video showing you all of the whips that I'm bringing into 2026. So I've been knitting for about 3 years now, garments at least, and sweaters and all the things. And I definitely am carrying some whips into 2026. So I just want to go through them. We're going to make a decision whether I'm going to frog them or finish them. And yeah, we'll go through it together. I have 3 different categories. Sorry, I have my notes down here. So we have sweaters, accessories, and then my summer knits. And I have about 4 whips for each category, which honestly, it just feels like way too many. So I am going to take you through all of them and then we'll decide what we're gonna do. So kind of the motivator behind this is that I wanna do a lot of stash busting in 2026. And I don't really know what yarn is in my stash until I decide what I'm going to do with these items. So especially I have a few sweaters that I intend to finish and I want to get those done so that I know if I have scraps or leftovers from that project that can then go into my stash busting projects. So without further ado, let's get into it. We're going to start with the sweaters. I'll show you the 4 different projects that are kind of lingering and on my needles, and we'll make a decision what we're going to do with them. So the first of these sweaters is my Norma sweater. This is a pattern by My Favorite Things Knitwear. Let me see if I can like move over to show you better. I do genuinely love this. So it is knit in Cascade alpaca something, and it's very drapey because of that. I love my color choice. It's like a medium brown with a cream and then a darker brown contrast color. And overall, I'm really happy with all of the decisions I made on this, with one key issue, which is how big the underarm is. So that feels way too large. And I know a few people have had this issue with the Norma. I started knitting this 2 summers ago, maybe. Not this past summer, but the summer before that. And I was still fairly new in my knitting world and life. And I think if I were to make this now, I probably would have split for sleeves at this stripe rather than this stripe. And I think that would have solved all of these issues. That being said, I don't think that I'm going to go back and frog this. I think I want to finish this. So I just have the 2 sleeves to do. The body is done and bound off. I did an Italian bind off. So I really don't want to try and go back and unpick that. It's just the 2 sleeves. And because the sleeve is so deep, it's really like, I have 2 half sleeves to do on this. So this is definitely one that needs to get finished. I will have a lot of extra leftover yarn as well. So I really want to get this done. I know I'm going to love having these colors for stash busting. So the Norma is definitely one we're going to try and get off the needles as soon as I can in 2026. The next sweater project I want to talk to you all about today is the Lumi pullover by Sari Nordland. It looks like this. It's a colorwork circular yoke. And this was my first attempt doing colorwork. And I actually have 2 of these that I've started. So we have the black and white Lumi, and then I also have a blue and white Lumi. And I love this pattern. The yoke has been so much fun to work on, but obviously I started a second before I finished the first. This one I'm going to frog. This I'm taking as like a lesson in color work tension. And while I think this would have been a really nice color palette, I love the black and white. So it would have been like the white base of the sweater with the black contrasting color. I think this would have looked great, and I might still do something like this, but my tension was just so like not good on this that it's gonna get frogged for no other reason than my tension. And because I knew my tension was bad, but I knew I loved the pattern, I wanted to cast on a new version, which I did. I'll show you. The second version is this amazing blue and white color. I'm using Rowan Felted Tweed as the base, which is a yarn that I've never worked with before, but I really like it and I'm very happy with it. This is a little bit of a different gauge than the black and white one I showed you. So this, I'm technically following the Lumi T pattern, but I'm going to make it into a pullover with full length sleeves. And then I'm probably gonna add some type of color work to the bottom of the sleeve as well as the bottom of the body. And let me just show you. I'm really happy with how this is looking. I think the color work is popping so nicely. And if I finish this, which I plan to, this will be my first like actual color work yoke sweater I've done. I know I just showed you the Norma, but that just feels like stripes feel like a different thing than this. So I'm really happy with how it's coming together and I definitely want to finish this. I was working on this in the spring and then I don't know, I kind of lost steam on it. I didn't have cables to try it on, which I have now, so I can try it on and I should. But I also wanted to steam block it before I split for sleeves just to see kind of where we were at. But I definitely will pick this back up. I think this is a great, fun, colorful spring knit. So the Lumi is definitely gonna be one that we get finished in 2026. And then finally, my last garment project is this Cumulus blouse. And I hate it and I'm gonna frog it. I wanted to love it. I wanted to, I don't know, I cast this on so long ago. I was really gonna work to finish it just to then use it as like a beach cover up or something. It's knit in Retrosaria Rosa Pomar Mungo base, which is like, I think a recycled wool and cotton. And it's not scratchy, but it's not soft. I think because of the cotton, it has like a little bit of a unique feel to it. It's yarn that I would consider using again, but I just am not happy with anything to do with this. The body, I think I bound off way too short because I wasn't sure if I had enough yarn, and it's not speaking to me. Nothing about this is speaking to me. I have no desire to do like an I-cord bind off for the neck. Yeah. I think it's a good color. I do like the color, so that's a positive, but overall, this is not gonna be one that we bring into 2026. Okay, now we have accessories, and I think this is where it really starts to get fun. So when I first started knitting, I made so many hats and beanies. It was kind of like my thing. I was too scared to make a sweater, which is so silly looking back on that now, but I made probably like 15 beanies my first year knitting, and it was a thing for a while. Now I don't have any desire to even like look at a beanie. So we have some things to frog. Okay, first of all, is this hat, I guess. I don't even know what to say about this. I don't remember what pattern it was. Clearly I've already taken it off the needles, like this is getting frogged. I was using the Lion Brand Wool Ease in the color gray that I had left over from some random project that I made, and something happened with this. I mean, besides the gauge being way too large for me, something with the decreases got messed up. Like I think my stitch count somewhere along the way was not right, and then I just abandoned this. So this will become something new. I do think it would be a great color for a hat. It's not this hat. So this we're gonna frog, and we'll free up this yarn for another fun project. The next hat we have is the Stockholm hat, which is a pattern by Petite Knit. And I am working on this in Santa's Garn Double Sunday in the color Putty. And I really like this hat. I just put this down because it was spring and I knew I wasn't gonna need a hat, but this one I'm definitely going to finish. When I first put it down, I think I had to like use the needles for something else and a ton of the stitches fell off. So I'm a little nervous that I need to go back and just like check that everything is okay on this. But it was my first time doing an Italian cast on, I guess, in the round, and I think it looks really nice. So I'm really happy with how this is coming together. It's maybe a little small, I don't know. We'll see. I think it'll fit okay, but I'm really picky with like the crown shape of my hats, and I would say I'm normally only happy with like 5% of the hats that I make. I don't know, 10%, 20% maybe, but I don't know. Hats are a really easy thing to gift too. Like a lot of times I feel like I won't love a hat on me, but then one of my friends will try it on and they're obsessed with it. And it's like, thank you. I'm so glad that someone can use this. So this is actually the last hat. I know I was talking about a lot of hats. I thought there was a lot more, but there's only 2 hats and we're only frogging one and keeping the other. So maybe someday I'll take you guys through like my knit hat collection because there's so many. Like I've made so many and I've given so many away that it's like, it feels insane. But yeah, this will be one that I finish and I think this will be really cute. It's obviously super neutral, so it'll go with any of my jackets and just be like a nice winter staple. Okay, so the next accessory to talk about is the coral reef scarf, which is a pattern by Lisa Hahn. I'll put a picture of it for you guys to see here. So I cast this on, I think it was 2023. It was quite a while ago and it was early in my knitting journey. And it actually looks great for how complicated of a pattern it might be, given how early I was knitting it. It's really hard for you guys to see the pattern, but it's essentially ribbing that moves around the cable, or that wasn't even English. It's like knitting that, why can't I describe this? Ribbing that like moves and connects to each other. The pattern picture will do a much better job. You really can't see it. When I cast this on, I had no idea what I was doing. And it looks really good for having no idea what I was doing. It looks much better in person. Oh, there you go. You can kind of see it there. I'm really pleased with this and I'm actually about halfway through, but I still think I'm gonna frog it. And it's just been so long since I've worked on it. Like I have not picked this up in well over a year. I'm not that excited about wearing it. Like I think it was a really fun thing to make from a process point of view, but it's not something that has like an immediate place in my wardrobe. I don't know. I just feel like I could do something else with this yarn, but I'm not even sure what, because it's not a color that I'm that excited about either. Like it feels so close to my skin tone that for an accessory, like a scarf or something, it just feels like a little bit of an odd color. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this yet. I could finish it, but I feel like my skill level has kind of increased since I started doing this. And I worry that you're really gonna be able to tell. Like I think one side might be a little janky and then one side should hopefully look a lot better because I've done a lot of knitting since I first cast this on, but maybe I'm overstating and it won't look any different at all, but I'm not really sure what to do with this. So let me know what you think. I don't know. If you have any ideas for what I can do with 200-gram skeins of DK weight yarn that is fun and interesting and in this color that might look nice for me, let me know, because I am very conflicted about this and I just kind of put it away and stopped thinking about it. And you can tell, like, when I first started knitting, I got circular needles from like my local craft thrift store, and that's what I've been using on this, and they're just not fun either. And obviously like I could change them out for the actual needles that I use now, but yeah, overall I'm not sure what to do with this, so let me know what you think. Yeah, we'll see. This is a maybe. This is a big old TBD, because I thought I was originally going to come on and say that I'm going to frog it, but now that I don't know, I'm very conflicted. So TBD on the coral reef scarf. Then my next accessory is my first ever triangle scarf, and it's very wrinkled because I have put it away, far, far away, and for no reason other than this to me is like a summer knit. So this is using Knitting for Olive cotton merino, and this was my beach knitting project for the summer. So the pattern is called an Italian spring shawlette. I'll put the pattern info here, and it is just a garter stitch shawl with an eyelet row every now and then. And this was like the perfect mindless beach knitting for me. And I am really happy with it. I'm using yarn that was in my stash already. So I'm seeing this as a little bit of like a stash buster. And I think it'll be just like a fun thing to throw over my shoulders at the beach in the summer. And honestly, I'm probably not gonna pick this up again until the summer. It's the perfect thing to like work on, like I said, by the beach and pool with friends, because it doesn't really require much focus. So I will definitely finish this. I'll keep working on this, but I'll just, pick it up here or there. So I've loved this pattern. It is a free pattern. So I would definitely recommend it. If you're someone that's wanting like an easy, mindless knit, this is a great project for you to work on. Which that is a great transition into our summer knits in general. So I know I said I was using stash yarn for that. It was actually yarn that was originally intended for a mixed rib cami. And I don't know where my mixed rib cami has gone. I didn't finish it. I worked on maybe just the back panel, and the twisted rib was a lot. So I am frogging that. Whenever I find it, I'm gonna frog it, and the yarn is gonna go for the shawl that I just showed you guys. I think it's a great pattern and I would love to make it, but I think I need to do it maybe in a wool. It was really tough on my hands. It's a small gauge and knit with the cotton. It was really not going well for me. Which brings me to my next summer knit, which is a small gauge knit with cotton that hurts my hands. And this is the Remy camisole. And again, I'll put all the pattern details on the side if I have not been doing that already. It's hard to see. Let's see. This is knit in Cascade Pima cotton in the color Cocoa Bean. And it's a 100% mercerized cotton. And it is really exhausting to knit. I have been working on this every summer for like 3 years, 2 years, and this is where I'm at. Every summer I say I'm gonna finish it, and I have not yet done that. But I do love it, and I think it's a great pattern, and I think I'd love to make it in a wool. I don't think my hands will be able to deal with this again in a cotton, but it is a 3x2 rib with built-in I-cord edging all around, which I love a summer knit that has built-in finishes. I don't like to go back and do finishes afterwards, so that's definitely something I always look for in my knit patterns. And I do think this will be a great piece to wear. The gauge is a little bit large. We're just going with it. This is something, again, I pick up by the pool or at the beach because I know the cotton, I'm just not that worried about it. And I'm sure I'll pick it up again this summer. I'll probably finish it in 2030, but it's okay. It's like a nice little mindless knit to pick up and something easy to knit on when I'm with friends. Now, my next two summer knits, I don't even know what to say about them. I like summer knits, but I also abandon them quickly and easily. So this is, what is this pattern even called? Let's see. Oh, this is my cabana tank. And it's knit in a really interesting stitch pattern. See, I keep thinking I'm gonna frog stuff, pick it up and be like, frog, bye. I like this a lot. And I don't even know what yarn I'm using. I don't know. I'm gonna frog this and start it in a new yarn. Because again, this is 100% cotton and it hurts. And yeah, I don't know. It's a very nice stitch pattern, but I'm conflicted. It's just been so long that I put it down that it feels like weird to pick it back up. I like working on a lot of projects at once. I hate putting stuff down for too long and then not knowing where I'm at in the pattern. And I'm sure I could just like read it a little bit and figure it out. I think probably where I'm at is that I've finished the front to join once I do the other shoulder. So maybe I should finish it because we're not that far away. But one issue I have with cotton too is like weaving in ends, it always looks messy. I never feel like it's secure, and I just like, I don't know, but this is a really nice fabric. It's so stretchy. I think it might be like a Joann's cotton. It might be the same thing that I made my Sevilla blouse out of. So I'll look into that because I do have a lot of that yarn. I just don't know. It has an interesting seam at the shoulder. Like I feel like that is kind of fun. I don't know. So this is the cabana top. If I don't finish this, I might make it in a different color. So we'll see. I feel like I can't talk today. So like, we're going with it. Finally, we have a big epic fail, which is my grasslands tank. And the gauge is way too large. This is in the round. So this is not working, clearly. This is supposed to be like a fitted tank top, and it's just not going to be a fitted tank top on me. And I'm using very nice yarn. I'm using the BC Garn Tusa Silk, which comes like this, and held together with lino, which is like a linen yarn that I really like. And the contrast color I did in Knitting for Olive cotton merino, the same as the shawl that I was showing you guys. And this, I have to frog it because it's not going to fit. And you know, you would think that I would have noticed it earlier on than this, but I didn't, and that's okay. So I'm gonna frog this and use the yarn for something very nice and amazing, hopefully. I'm not really sure what, because it's just the 2 skeins of lino. I don't know, we'll see. I don't even know what I'm gonna use this for, but we'll frog it, we'll figure it out, and we will go from there. So those are all my WIPs that I'm bringing in to 2026, at least all my lingering WIPs. So I do have all of the projects that I showed you in my last knitting podcast, which was the Dagmar jacket, which I'm definitely going to be finishing. I'm going to finish everything I'm working on now. So it's the Dagmar jacket, the sweater number 23, and I have a beanie that I'm working on, which is like a fingering weight beanie. And that has been a little lingering there, but I think I'll get it done. So I'd love to know what WIPs you're bringing into 2026, and if you're going to frog them or finish them, or what your plan is. So I really want to make the Loopy Studios striped cardigan, and I feel like I've seen people do that with scrap yarn, and I'm so excited to do that I like need to figure out what I'm frogging and what I'm not, so that I can really like make a plan for that. So I don't know. I'm excited for 2026. I'm excited to like clear this out, get my yarn stash cleared out so I can really make a plan of all the fun new projects that I get to work on. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think I should do with the yarn that I am frogging, if you think I should finish something that I said I was going to frog, or if you think I should frog something that I said I was going to finish. So we'll see. I don't know. I feel like the best thing about knitting for longer, like now that I've been knitting for a few years, I'm much better at picking projects for myself. But part of that means that like I have to figure out what to do with the projects that were bad choices. And the answer is to frog them. I just hate frogging things because it feels like you're putting time and effort down the drain, but you're reclaiming yarn that costs a lot of money to use for other projects. So it is a benefit. I don't know. It's like emotionally hard because I feel like I've invested time and effort and love into my knitting projects. So I'm excited for all the new things to make in 2026. I'm gonna try and do like a planning video for all the things that I am knitting in the new year. And then hopefully I'll also bring you guys along once I start doing all of my scrappy projects. I really like, this year is all about cleaning out my stash for me. I have a yarn buying problem, so I'm sure I will still buy lots of yarn this year, but hopefully I will use all of the yarn that I do have or find a new life for it, either through donating it or selling it or whatever it is. So thank you all for watching. If you liked this or like knitting videos in general, I'd hope you would subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you all soon for another video.